first what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new like tail piece here. And I'm just going to do it pretty similar to how like a normal Vulpix is. And to do that, I'm in object mode. I'm going to add a plane. I'm going to rotate that. And I rotate based on my camera view, so that's why I went to the back. And then I press the R key, type 90 degrees, and that will rotate it. Let me turn off my back face culling so I know which side is the front and the back. So here's my plane here. I'm just going into edit mode, gonna scooch that over. And I'm basically just going to make this silhouette of the tail. I'll probably reference the model a bit here, but I'm going to shape it a little bit. And I'm just extruding from this, from this edge here by pressing the E key again. You can go to edge, extrude edges if you don't want to use keyboard shortcuts. See what I can do here. Basically very similar to a normal Vulpix tail, I'm pretty sure. This is kind of a tight curl here. Hide the current tail. I've got the bulk of it done now. Might be a little too big. Yeah, that is a little too big because I'm making it based on the silhouette, and it's going to be probably made out of minky or faux fur. Especially if I'm using like short pile faux fur, like faux rabbit, it's gonna be like, because the pile will add quite a bit of thickness and bulk to it. Just do it like that. Another point there just to round. So that's basically what I want to do, but because I have to have it flat, I'm gonna make some room here, and I'm just gonna subdivide that. Add a subdivide modifier. That way it smooths out a little bit. See how that looks compared to the tail. Well, it's a little short. And I want its tail to curl up a little. Add another. I'm using this knife, not knife tool, this loop cut tool, adding an edge here just to smooth it out. It's not that big a deal, but this is basically my tail piece that I'm going to make. Just going to cut it out and sew it over and over. So ideally, here's like a little bit of a preview of what I want it to kind of do here. I basically am going to want it to do this, and I'm just going to have multiples of this. Pretty much that. I only need to make the one, basically, because I'm just going to do it over and over. And solidified is just a little preview thing I'm using because it'll blow it up like a balloon. So there's my tail piece. That's pretty much all it needs. I'm going to apply my subdivision because it's done. Go back into object mode, apply that. Spread that out just a smidge. This would probably do pretty well on an embroidery machine. I know some people will use that to cut out, sew their pieces together. There will need to be a little bit of space here between it. That might be too... Well, no, it'll kind of shrink, I think, when you stuff it. The height will squish down and it will become wider. I'm just gonna put 3 of those there. Oh, it is mirroring on itself. Object, apply, all transforms, right? So there's just a rough visual representation of the tails. And I have all of these here just so that when I export it, because I'm going to use this in Plushify, it will combine all pieces that are identical. So it'll just be like, oh, cut 6 of this or 12 of this. Bottom color, the bottom is blue and the top isn't. There. Then I'll just scooch it back. Mirror it again with my mirror modifier. Oops. Duplicate that a few times there. There's all 6. They're just gonna sit in a nice little row. I think all that's left... Oh, wait, I gotta make the little feet for when he's sitting. He needs the little sitting feet. So, for that, I'm just gonna add I'm gonna do a cube. I'm gonna subdivide that. Subdivide it a couple of times to make this little foot. Turning on my mirror thing up here. That way. Foot bottom can stay flat. I have discovered that if you make it look, if you poof it up too much, it's just going to give you a really big pattern piece that's not going to be proportional. So I think you almost want to model your theoretical plush toy as flat as you reasonably can go, especially for parts like like this tail or the feet. That's why I made the bottom of the foot. Well, actually, the bottom of the foot was already flat, but basically, if I were to round out the bottom of this foot like that, it's gonna make this bottom half of it, like, instead of it being this size, it would be more like this, and it would just be straight up too big, and you would have to fill it with a bunch of extra stuffing, so then you get an even bigger foot bottom than you were going for. So you kind of have to imagine this as like a Build-A-Bear that's unstuffed while you're making it. You know, they're just the little skin, and then you will put stuffing in it. So that's why this is kind of flat, and I'm gonna do the same for the foot. Turn on my subdivision here, make it nice and smooth. It's a very big foot. Don't need to. More like, yeah, more like that. Round out that. I'm just going to select all these little bottom bits here. Use the scale tool on the Z-axis and press 0 so it's flat on the bottom. I'm going to use my edge crease here. Drag it all the way up so it is nice and flat. Whoops. Doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm just going to apply this subdivision, and then I can work with it like that. Let's see. I think that is good enough for a rough foot estimate. Let me see. I know he's got little blue. Yeah, the feet. This whole thing's just gonna be blue. And now I'll just make sure that this is roughly the same-ish size. This half anyway. This is technically the paw and the back part of the leg, and I need it to be a little flatter like that. There we go. Now I'm just going to apply my modifier. That. Whoops. Turn off my mirror so I'm not dragging that thing into itself. Might make that a little longer. That. Make sure all of my transforms are applied so I can turn on a mirror. Modifier, see how that looks. Now I don't want it sitting, I want this kind of like, it's supposed to be kind of reminiscent of this one. The client wanted a pose kind of similar to this, where if you hold it, these little feet are kind of up, not like full sitting. I mean, that's basically sitting. It's a little more upright than mine is. I think that one's even got a little smaller feet. Maybe I'll make mine. Oh, that one's super cute. Let's see, that's good enough for now. Oh, I did break my doing, give it a little mouth. Maybe I'll give it a little, and this would already be a really cute little smile right there. The little circle mouth is so cute. Yeah. So now that I've got, I think, all of my main, well, I'll talk about what pieces are what and why I've put them there, I suppose. Actually, an image would be a better reference. Let me doodle one real quick. Okay, so for example here, this would be, like, there are so many ways to make more than one thing, but a lot of them have similar parts, like, most will have a stomach and a back piece. In this case, for this one, this would be the tummy, and the back piece would just be two parts. And that gives it this silhouette shape. This is based on one of my favorite plush toys that I have. It's an Animal Alley Lop Rabbit from the 2000s. This is just some generic thing that I made. You know, that you got your face, and your face pieces can be separate like this with a seam down the front, or they can be connected, and that makes it easier to embroider the nose onto it. You've got, for a lot of basic stuffed animals, you can literally just draw like a front leg like this, and then flip it and work with that. Same thing for the hind leg, you know, just left and right, same exact piece, just flip it. Or you can get a little more complex with it, where like this one is part of this back piece, and then you've got an inner leg piece. There's more than one way to skin a cat, basically. And it's, you just gotta kind of play around with it. So this, I would say, is similar to this silhouette kind of way of doing that leg. This will probably need some extra seams in here, but I'll use stretch to show that. This is a tummy piece. It's very similar to this and this. But tummy pieces like that, for like most quadrupeds, they're gonna kind of look like this. Oops. Let's see, what else? Yeah, see this, I'm going to leave as a single piece here. It'll probably need a seam along the bottom or here. And then I can keep this entire section as one piece. And then you can do all your embroidery that's needed for the face all on one piece, assuming you have a hoop that is wide enough. It's very, very likely that you don't, especially if this is going to be a life-size pattern. So in that case, that is a situation where I would say actually to add a seam down the middle here and just cut it in half. That way you have a left and a right, and you don't have to worry about embroidery hoop shenanigans. So sometimes I'll make a pattern, I'll make variants of patterns. So if I do that, usually I'll just be like, oh, I'm gonna duplicate this whole section here. Oops.